everyone, and thank you for watching Edupedia World videos. In this lecture, we will talk about sales process. In SAP, the sales cycle begins with the creation of a sales document. The sales document stores and processes the sales-related data and controls the overall processing of the sales transaction. When you receive an order from the customer, the information contained in that physical customer order, such as ordered goods or services, ordered quantity, shipping location, delivery date, and so on, is all stored in a sales document. This sales document then forms the basis for carrying out subsequent SD process steps such as delivery, billing, and accounting postings. In SAP, sales document is a generic term. You can use a sales document to store and initiate processing for inquiries, quotations, sales orders, contracts, credit debit notes, invoice corrections, free of charge delivery, and other similar sales processes that a user in a sales function deals with on a day-to-day basis. Each of these processes is identified and controlled using a specific sales document type in SAP. For instance, document type AF is for inquiries, AQ is for quotations, and OR is for standard orders. Each sales document in SAP is assigned a unique document number that can be set internally by the SAP system or externally by the user or interface program that is electronically creating the sales order in the SAP system. You can set up incompletion checks in a sales document to ensure the user enters the data entry completely and to also start the processing of subsequent steps if the document is found to be incomplete. Status management in the SAP system documents the current status of the object and also controls what subsequent process step may be carried out next. While processing a sales document, SAP also carry out various basic functions such as pricing, taxation, partner determination, availability check, output determination, and so on. We have discussed some of these functions in previous lectures and discussed some like availability check in our future lectures. You can create, change, delete, and reject these sales documents in SAP. You can also create a sales document electronically using IDOC, EDI, or BAPI technologies. And we will talk about these technologies in our future lectures. So now we will talk about sales document in SAP ERP system. In SAP system, to create a new sales document, we can use transaction VA01. Create sales order. To change sales order, we can use transaction VA02. Change sales order. And to view existing sales order, we can use VA03. Display sales order. The structure of the sales document has two parts. A header structure that holds the information applicable to the whole document, and item structure that holds the information specific to an item. Data at the header level is valid for all the items. A sales document can have one header and one or multiple line items. And in each line item further we can have one or multiple schedule lines. So, for example, we can go and check one sales order. It's a debit memo request. So in this document, we see our item structure. So at this level, we can see information related to our items. It's the item structure. If we press display document header details, we will see a lot of tabs, and all these tabs are related to a header structure. So this information is valid for all the items. So item structure in this part of the screen, and when we press display document header details, we see the document header lines, header structure. Apart from the data that you entered manually or that came via an interface program, data in a sales document originates from a variety of other sources. Now we will talk about origin of data in a sales document. First source, from master data to sales document. When you create a sales document, a majority of information required by the sales order is automatically delivered by SAP from the master records of the customer and material number you provided on the sales document detail screen. Information deliberation from the sold to party master data includes pricing, shipping conditions, Incoterms, and so on. Information specific to the shipping location and taxation is pulled out from the ship to party master, and information specific to the payment terms and credit checks is pulled from the payer master record. When the sold to party performs all four partner functions for a sales document, all the partner-related data is pulled from the sold-to-party master record, and information from the material master includes the delivery plan, weights, delivery priority information, and so on. Some information is also delivered from various order master records, such as the pricing master, customer material info masters, output masters, and so on, based on the combination of customer and material numbers. Next source, from document header to document item. Data for document items originates from the document header. Once copied from the header to the items in a document, this data can be manually changed in the sales document. In such case, the manually entered data takes precedence over the automatically delivered data. For example, say you have initial customer order received with a requested delivery date for all three items. With the standard SAP system behavior, the date is copied from the sales document header to all the items. But then, say customer later sends a request to deliver one item on another date, keeping the schedule for other two items. To incorporate this request, you manually change the requested delivery date at the item level for one item. This manual change now takes precedence over the requested delivery date initially copied from the header data. So the header data and items show the requested delivery date, and one item show us another requested delivery date. Our next source is from the source document to target document. In SAP, data originated in the source document is copied to the target document. For example, when you create a sales order with reference to a quotation, SAP copies the data from the quotation document to the sales order. In this case, SAP will not do any deliberation of data from the master records, and data copied from the quotation will be final. So any changes made to the master data after creating the quotation will not be copied to the other sales order because the data for the sales order is copied from the quotation document that still contains the old information. The last source is from customization settings to sales document. SAP copies the default defined in the customization settings to the sales documents. Values such as default billing type and the default delivery type are copied to the sales document so that SAP can use these defaults to perform the subsequent steps without any user intervention. This makes the process more automated. Now we'll talk about customizing sales documents. A sales document is controlled via its customization settings. So it's very important to define these customization settings. The customization of a sales document involves the following steps. First step, defining sales document types. Second step, defining item categories. Third step, setting up an item category termination. Fourth step, defining schedule line categories. Next step is setting up a schedule line category termination. And the last step, setting up copy controls. In this and next few lectures, we will cover each of these steps in detail. So now, we will take a closer look to our first step, defining sales document types. The first step in sales document customization is to define the sales document types that meet your business requirements. A sales document type in the SAP system helps you differentiate one kind of sales document from another. Whether a sales document is an inquiry, quotation, a sales order, or any other kind of sales document, you can identify each one exclusively based on its document type. In the customization of a sales document type, you can define various settings that not only control the overall behavior of the sales document, but also impact the subsequent process steps, such as delivery and billing. To customize a sales document type, you can use SPRO transaction. Click on SAP reference IMG. Sales and distribution. Sales. Sales documents. Sales document header. And click on Define Sales Document Types. We will see here the list of all sales documents. Now, we can find standard order OR and create new entry by copying it as a reference. Z or R T, just for example. Now we'll take a closer look for each field in these settings. Sales document type. This field represents the identifier and description for your sales document type. In our case, we have our technical name and our description. You can define your own sales document type by providing an identifier key that is a maximum of 4 characters, and as in this example. Next field is SD document category. The field SD document category classifies sales documents into various categories and enables the SAP system to provide status information about delivery and billing processing for the sales document. We can see here the list of all document categories. When you create your sales document via the Copy with Reference option, this category field enables the SAP system to provide the status information about the reference documents. So you can use A for inquiries, B for quotations, C for orders, D for item proposals, E and F for scheduling agreement, G for contracts, H for returns, T for credit memo request, and L for debit memo request. Next field, sales document block. When you select this field for a sales document type, the sales document type is blocked for further use and is no longer visible in the list of available document types for processing with the sales document create transactions such as VA01. This is useful in situations where your document type has become obsolete and you don't want the user to use it for transactional document creation by mistake. Always remember that once blocked in customizing, you cannot use the document type for creating new transactional documents, but the existing transactional documents can still be processed. You can also use this field to mark a document type as relevant for automated processing only. When you do so, the document type is no longer available for manual processing via maintenance transactions provided by SAP, like VA01 for example. You can make one of the following selections for this field. Leave the field blank if you do not want to block your sales document type. Select X when you want to block the document type, and select A to make the document available for automatic processing only. Internal and external number range assignment. In SAP, you control document numbering for your sales document using a 2-character number range key. When customizing this key, you specify the starting number and the ending number for the number range that then controls the document numbering for your sales document. Later, we will talk about customizing these fields. Next field in customizing sales document type is item number increment. Here you define the increments for an item number for your sales document. So if you set up an item increment as 10, then the first line in the sales document will have item 10. The second line will have item 20, and so on. Keeping a gap in item numbers is always good practice because it gives you some flexibility to insert a new line between two existing line items in a sales document. Subitem increment field. The subitem concept exists for structured materials, such as a bill of materials. A bill of materials allows you to process materials in a specified structure. For example, a computer can be sold as one piece or as multiple parts separately. When you sell it as one piece, you define a bill of material to set up the main piece of the item as a computer with a mouse, keyboard, CPU, monitor screen, and so on, and sub-items of that main piece. When you create a sales order, you enter the bill of materials for the computer as a material in the sales order. This bill of materials automatically explodes into multiple lines of individual materials to be delivered. What item numbers these sub-items get depends upon what settings you made when you customizing for the sub-items increment. As per the increment value in this settings, each sub-item will have an increment of 1. Next section is general control, and the first field in general control section is reference mandatory. Make a selection in this field if you want to create a document for your document type only by copying it from an existing document. For example, If your requirement says that a sales order can be created only with reference to a quotation document, you can choose B here for quotation to put this restriction on your sales order document type. You can set up the SAP system to create a new sales document with reference for the following: an inquiry, a quotation, a sales order, a scheduling agreement, a contract, a billing document. Remember that the selection in this field will only make it compulsory for the document to refer to an existing document. For the actual flow of data between the two documents, you also need to define the copy control between these documents. We will talk about copy control in next lecture. Next field, material entry type. This field defines the expected input value for the material field during the sales order entry. When you select B in this field, SAP expects you to enter a material number and product catalog combination as a valid input for creating a sales order. Select A, and the SAP expectation changes to the material order number and product catalog combination. Keep the value in this field as blank if you are not working with product catalogs. Check division. The check division field checks whether the division at the document header is different from the document items. The following options are available. Leave the field blank, so different divisions between the header and the items are allowed without any message for the user. Select 1. Divisions can be different, but a warning message is issued. And select 2. Divisions cannot be different, and an error message is used. When you allow the fields to be different between the header and items depends upon what scenario you want to configure. For example, if you want to allow cross-divisional sales, which allow you to create a sales order with materials from different divisions, then keep the check division field blank and the item division checkbox selected for the document type, so that the division of the header can be different from the item, and at the same time the division at the item level can be copied from the material master. So, item division checkbox. The item division checkbox is like an on-off switch that controls whether the division for an item in the sales order should originate from the material master or from the document header. When selected, it allows the item division to be copied from the material master data. If left unchecked, the item division is copied from the sales document header. Probability. You use order probability to measure the success rate of a pre-sales process. For example, you use the probability percentage to measure the possibility of a quotation converting into an order. In SAP, the probability is allowed for the inquiry or quotation document categories only. The expected order value is calculated as the net value of the line item, multiplied by the probability rate for that line item divided by the total net value for all the line items in the quotation. So, for quotation containing two items, one for $100 with a 40% probability, and the other for $100 with a 60% probability, the total order values equals $200, but the expected order value equals $100. We will talk about probability in our future lectures. Now we talk about read info record checkbox. This checkbox controls the copying over of the customer-specific material description from the customer material info record to the subsequent sales document. When selected, in customizing for a document type, the customer material info record gets copied to documents, so the document type. We'll cover customer material info records in one of our future lectures about material determination, listings, exclusions, and proposals. Next field, in general control section, is check credit limit. This field helps you deactivate credit checks for your document type. The available options are as follows. Blank. Select this if you do not want to run a credit check on your sales document type. A. This runs a simple credit check with a warning message displayed when a credit check for the document fails. B. This runs a simple credit check with an error message displayed when a credit check for the document falls. C. This runs a simple credit check and blocks the delivery for the sales document if the credit check for the document fails. D. This runs a rule-based automatic credit check. The value D in this field represents that this order is using automated credit checks. Credit group. In the standard SAP system, you can carry out the credit check at the sales order level and the delivery level, and also while performing the goods issue step for your delivery. A credit group in the SAP system represents these levels. There are 3 credit groups available in standard SAP. 01 credit group for sales order, 02 credit group for delivery, and 03 credit group for goods issue. If you want to carry out credit checks, you need to assign your document type to its relevant category. For sales orders, the credit group is always 01. Credit group for sales orders. Check purchase order number. The purpose of this field is to check for duplicate purchase order numbers during sales orders entry. When you select A in this field, SAP gives a warning message during sales order creation if another sales document for same customer with the same purchase order number exists already. Leave this field blank if you do not want SAP to check for duplicate purchase order numbers. Enter purchase order number. When you select this checkbox in customizing for a document type, SAP enters the sales document number in the purchase order number field, provided that this field is blank when the document is saved. This is useful for scenarios such as return material authorization, when you would like to save your sales document number of the return material authorization document type in the purchase order field as a reference to be provided to the customer. The customer will use this number as a reference number for all their communications related to that specific return material authorization transaction. Output application. An output application is a 2-character identifier that controls the overall processing of output at the application level. If you want to carry out output determination for your sales order, then you must choose V1. V1 is the output application for sales documents. Commitment date. Commitment dates are relevant for when your customer contracts have certain obligatory delivery dates to be met. This situation can exist most commonly in customer make-to-order production, where there might be bottlenecks and you want SAP to give a commitment date in addition to a confirmed date and quantity. Select an entry in this field when you want SAP to calculate a commitment date for your sales document type. You can leave this field blank for do not maintain commitment date. Choose A for consider agreed delivery time only. Choose B for first confirmation date. Choose C for best confirmation date saved up until now. Next section is transaction floor. On transaction floor section, you can customize the look and feel of the order entry screen, define the screen sequencing, and define the various transactional flow-related settings for your sales document. We will now take a detailed look at the various fields in this screen. Screen sequence group. A data entry screen that you use for a contract document might not be relevant for a sales order. Therefore, based on the individual needs of the sales document categories, SAP has grouped the screens into various screen sequence groups. By choosing a screen sequence group for a document type in this field screen sequence group, you tell SAP what screens and fields should appear and in what sequence key should show up when you create a document using your document type. In standard SAP, screen sequence group AG is available for increased quotations, AU for sales orders, GA for credit and debit memo, KM for contracts, and RE for returns. For our sales order, we will use AU, screen sequence group for sales order. Next field, display range. The value you select in this field controls which details for a structured item such as bill of materials will be shown during the sales document display. If you choose UALL, both the main and sub-items are displayed. And if you choose UHAU, only the main item is shown. Incompletion procedure. As we mentioned earlier in this chapter, an incompletion procedure helps you check the sales document for incomplete data and stops from further processing steps such as delivery, billing, and so on. We'll later create our new incompletion procedure, but for our document type, we'll use one existing incompletion procedure, 11. 11 is an incompletion procedure for a sales order. F code for overview screen. The selection made in this field, overview screen to display first when you are processing a sales document. You have a choice to select general overview, UER1, item view, UAR2, and ordering party overview, UBSK. All other views are customized. Next field is transaction group. There are 6 different transaction codes to process the 6 different varieties of a sales document in SAP. 0 for order, 1 for inquiry, 2 for quotation, 3 for scheduling agreement, 4 for contract, 5 for item proposal, and B for customer independent requirements. Which transaction code to use for processing the document type will depend on what transaction group you choose while configuring the document type. So if you're configuring a sales document, make sure you select 0 as a transaction group for your document type to process with when you select 0 transaction group, it's a transaction group for order, and you will use transactions VA01 for creating sales order, VA02 for changing sale order, and VA03 for displaying sales order. Quotation messages, outline agreement messages, message master contracts, production attribute messages. The purpose of this field is to provide a message to the user during order creation if any open quotation, outline agreement, master contract, or product attributes exist. The available choices in these fields are self-explanatory. Document pricing procedure. In the field Document Pricing Procedure, you choose which document pricing procedure key to assign to a document type. The key you assigned here will be one of the factors determining the pricing procedure for a sales document. We will choose A for standard pricing procedure. Status profile. In this field, you assign a default status profile for your document type. Using the status profile, you can define your own status management for a sales document or individual line items of a sales document. Suppose you want to set up a small workflow for your sales document. Your sales document should be entered the initial status just after creation. Should be under the in-process status when it is with the approval authority for approvals. Should it under the reassigned status when it is reassigned back. And finally should show the status as released when some authorized person releases it for further processing. In a status field profile, you define the status steps. In other words, the 4 statuses we mentioned earlier. So for each status step, you define which business transaction you want to allow when the document is under the set status. Each status step that controls what business function is allowed and what is not, so that only an authorized person can perform the status change. Each status line within a status profile is linked to an authorized code. Only the users who have this authorization code assigned to their user roles can change the status of the document. You can assign the status profiles to the sales document type or an item category, so that item category type to make it work for a sales document or a line item respectively. Next two fields, alternative sales document types. By making a selection in the field alternative sales document type 1, you allow the user to switch between the document types during the sales order entry. This is really helpful in a telesales scenario, where the telesales representative does not know whether the prospect customer will end up placing an order or an inquiry. with the choice to switch between the document types without leaving the document creation screen, the telesales representative can keep on entering the information as they talk with the customer, and can choose the document type while saving the document. You can set up 2 alternate sales document types when customizing for your sales document type using these fields. Alternative sales document type 1 and alternative sales document type 2. Choose the sales document type in this field that you would like to use as an alternative sales document type during sales order processing, or leave this field blank if you do not want to use this field as you do not want to use any alternative sales document types. Incompletion messages. Unlike the incompletion procedure that allows you to save the incomplete sales document, but disqualifies it for further processing steps such as delivery and billing, the incompletion messages checkbox, when selected, prevents you from even saving the incomplete sales orders. You should select this only if you want SAP to stop an incomplete sales document from getting saved that was created using your sales document type. Last field in this section, variant. Transaction variants consist of a sequence of screen variants and are assigned to the transaction codes. Using this variant, you can change the normal behavior of various screens called in a transaction during document processing. You can change the ready for input status of the field, hide and change the table control column attributes, hide menu function, and hide the entire screens. You define the transaction variants using transaction SHDO, and we will talk about it in one of our future lectures. If you would like to use a transaction variant for processing a document, then provide the transaction variant here in this field, or leave this field blank, so SAP will use the standard variant. We will use this field blank. Shipping and billing information. In these sections, you assign default values for delivery-related and billing-related fields. SAP then uses these defaults while performing the subsequent steps of shipping and billing for your sales document. First field, delivery type. Delivery type here represents the delivery document type that you would like SAP to use while creating a delivery for a document. Choose a default delivery type only when your document is relevant for delivery. Leave this field blank if your sales order is not relevant for delivery, such as with an inquiry, quotation, debit or credit note request, or any service-related billings. For document type standard order, SAP uses delivery document, LF. Delivery block field. When you make a selection in this field, SAP prevents your sales document from getting delivered until an authorized person checks the documents and releases them from the delivery block. For example, in case of free of charge deliveries, you might want to make someone responsible to validate and justify the reasons for free of charge delivery before the actual delivery happens. Delivery block customizing is discussed in detail later, and we will talk about it in one of our future lectures. Shipping conditions. Make a selection in this field if you would like to copy the default shipping condition from the document type customization for your sales document. SAP copies shipping conditions from the customer master to the sales documents. But when you define a default in the sales document type, that default takes precedence over the customer master shipping condition. We will choose value 02 standard. Immediate delivery. When you make a selection in this field, SAP creates a delivery for your document immediately on saving the document. In the standard SAP system, this setting is generally used for cash sales and rush orders. You can select from the following available options as A for immediate deliveries, X for immediate deliveries only for confirmed quantity line items, or we can leave this field blank if we don't want to create immediate deliveries. Delivery relevant billing type. The SAP system will use the billing document type you enter in the field as a default billing document type when creating billing for your sales document type for delivery relevant billing scenarios. A delivery-related billing refers to those scenarios where the sales cycle involves creating a delivery document before creating a billing document. Order relevant billing type. Here you enter the default order relevant billing document type that you want to use to bill your sales documents. An order-related billing refers to a billing document created directly from a sales order without invoicing a delivery step in between. This refers to service billing orders and debit-credit note processes. Intercompany billing types. Here you enter the default intercompany billing document type that you want to use to bill your sales document in an intercompany scenario. And intercompany scenario billing document records the sales transaction happening between the two companies of the same group. Billing block field. The purpose of this field is to block your sales document from getting billed. Make a selection in this field only when you want to prevent your sales document from getting billed until an authorized person checks the documents and releases them from the billing block, such as credit notes. Please note that the billing block you assign here will work at the header level and will be applicable through the sales document. Billing plan type. A billing plan controls the billing timelines and schedule of billing for periodic and milestone-based billing. In SAP, you can have a billing plan at the header level as well as an item level. Make a selection in this field only when your sales document is relevant for periodic billing or is a milestone billing, and you want to keep the billing plan at the header level for your sales document type. Condition type. Line items. We can choose the default value EK02 here. Payment guarantee procedure. A payment guarantee procedure controls the risk management setting for your sales document type. A letter of credit, bank guarantee, and export credit insurance are a few examples of risk management documents that are commonly used in foreign trade. Maintain the value in this field if your document type is relevant for risk management control. Payment card plan type and checking group. Make a selection in these two fields only when your sales document is relevant for payment cards processing. So we will choose payment card plan type 03 as a payment card and checking group 01. 01 as standard. Next section is requested delivery date, pricing date, purchase order date. A requested delivery date is a date by which the customer expects to receive delivery of the goods. It can be a date provided by customer or proposed by the SAP system. A pricing date, on the other hand, helps in finding out the valid price for a sales document line item. Date. So now we'll talk about some fields of this section. Date type, proposed delivery date, lead time in days. These three fields control the value and display format for the requested delivery date field on the sales document. Date type controls the display format of the requested delivery date. You can make selections from the list of available values and set up the display of the requested delivery date to be a day format. Day, month, year, or a week format or month format. Proposed delivery date checkbox. When selected, proposes the current system date as the requested delivery date for your sales documents. Lead time in days. Proposes the requested delivery date by the number of days you enter in this field. Proposals for pricing date. This field determines the pricing date for the sales document. From the list of available options, you can select A. You can select A for the proposal based on requested delivery date, B for proposal based on valid from date, and C proposal based on contract start. Or you can leave this field blank as a proposal based on today's date. Proposed PO date. Use this checkbox when you want to propose the current system date as the purchase order date for a sales document. Proposal for valid from date. This field determines the date value for the valid from date in the sales document. The fields on the sales document have no proposal when this value is left blank in customizing. They will be valid from today's date when A, if selected, and will be valid from the date that equals the beginning of the month when the value B is selected in customizing. And last section is contract. Now we don't need for our sales order to talk about contract. Last field, availability check. We can choose business transaction, sales order. After we make all necessary changes in our new sales document type, we can save it. And we have successfully defined our sales document type, standard order. We have successfully completed first step of the customization of a sales document. We will continue next steps in next lecture. Thank you for watching Edupedia World Videos.